Yeah, you know what? Today is a crap day for me. And first of all, this video is not about, a pity thingy. This is still the Positive Wave Rider channel, and I had to think about it before I hit that record button. You know, there will be a positive walk away from this, but I had a very difficult night when I had a series of life anxieties kind of show up before I went to bed. I was also going back and forth with a social media friend of mine that I've known for about 15 years. And I had found out that her husband, very healthy, super great guy, never met him, but you feel like you meet these people sometimes when they post great things about them and, family doing things and husband and wife things happening and stuff. And I found out he passed away. I mean, apparently this kind of something in the heart, some kind of embolism where the doctors probably said he was gone before he even hit the ground. It was such a massive traumatic heart thing that happened. And, that kind of presses upon me, at least, mortality, right? I've lost at least 8 people in the last 10 years. Some 10, 12 years younger than me, some my age, some a couple of years older than me. And then I have friends that also have, as well as within the family, some serious health conditions like cancer and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I think my anxiety was, it was like a life check. Am I living my life to the fullest? What's going to happen? And before I know it, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't sleep well. And after running through like a life checklist on, am I ready? I don't think anybody's ever ready to pass, but I'm talking about some of the other things you might think about, like, where are all my passwords or the bank accounts or the trust. And, so I had a long night of that, and I did catch a couple of hours sleep. And then a little earlier this morning as I woke up, I was still kind of in a hangover of that thinking pattern. While I'm like loading new videos onto a new channel I opened up and Twitch and still balancing this, outbound kind of joyful cat that I am, I realized that I had really pulled myself into kind of a miserable abyss of heaviness while having to think about, mortality. And then today, earlier as well, I had some guests that came in from, born and raised here in Hawaii, went to LA to do the Hollywood thing, came back to visit the family. We were talking about how heavy things are changing in Hollywood, but not just on the surface with the strike, but how everybody who's had a creative run in their life at one point or dream of a particular creative life no longer will exist in another 5 to 10 years. But it was still uplifting. I found myself, as they were worried about young parents, they had little, like a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, looking at their kids and wondering what, I kind of recognized that anxiety from just being in the industry my whole life. And so I found myself kind of uplifting myself and pulling myself through it while helping them and answering a few questions that made me go, yeah, okay. Kind of, self-reflecting. And the one thing that enveloped me that I had to kind of grapple with and then let it go was exactly that. Is to understand when these moments of insane uncertainty and the anxieties of life based on mortality, not even necessarily because I'm in my 60s. I know there's people in their 20s and 30s, who are concerned about life, the finishing of, the success of, the judgment of, the expectations of, and then we get ourselves all wrapped up in it. Truth be told, nothing actually happened to me that caused it, but the fact that I am kind of somewhat hypersensitive, not hypersensitive, but empathic to energy, hearing about my friend's husband passing away, the kids, even though they came and they kind of uplifted me a little bit, I realized when they left, I had to sit down and I had to take a breather, and I had to turn everything off and let that heaviness present itself, sit with me, like acknowledge, like, man, I'm in a space, man. And then it started to pass, and as it's passing through, and I'm regaining a little bit of my own composure in my always worked on skill set of pulling myself through challenges like this, is when I decided to pop out the camera. Was to kind of, I think I'm doing this as a little bit of self-therapy. And even though I'm always really looking at things very positively, there is that day-to-day challenge that comes up. Sometimes it's just very minuscule. Sometimes it's just heavy when it's a culmination of things, like finally ended up last night with my friend's husband passing away, and just going, oh my God, he was only 53 and he was in great shape, and the sun and this and the whole world, and her world is upside down. And so the reason why I decided I wanted to do this is because, this is the Positive Wave Rider channel. And the takeaway, the win, is like my last video, is that we possess the skill set to pull us through anything. Just sometimes it gets a little hidden beneath outlier, heavier, emotionally renting space issues. You forget you have that skill set. And I think, to me, it's like, if I look at it as a toolbox, to open the lid of the toolbox is to say, oh man, I am in a shitty space, or this is a real pain in the ass moment I'm in. And then to open it is the first step, and then to let it be there is the second step, and then pull out whatever thinking patterns you might have to clear out the more negative things that may happen. And it's a lifelong work. You've heard me talk about this on videos here. Lifelong work, to think positive. I know some of you are probably thinking, dude, it can't be all that bad. You're sitting on a beach right now. But don't get me wrong. Sure, it doesn't matter. Like a few videos ago where I said, I don't care where I'm at, the stuff's still in your head. But even there's times where I go, this is absolutely beautiful, but the other shoe will drop. And I'm just renting this place right now, and eventually I won't be here anymore. So sometimes that anxiety starts to sneak in, going, where will I go? What will I do? What will happen? What's going to, and then all of a sudden, I go through that, down that, that spiral, that rabbit hole. So, I decided to, as my friend says in his book, come, sit, stay. I came, I'm sitting and I'm staying, except I put a camera in front of me, and just pull it in and be present, without getting too woo-woo-ish, and that's my journey, I think it's all of our journey. I love being positive. I love to do the things that I do. But I think the realism of understanding, or being able to put out a video like this and saying, man, I get my ass kicked more often than because you only maybe just see this side, or the side you may see on other channels. But, you kind of, you pull back, you assess, and you move forward. And then don't forget to repack the toolbox. It's really funny. A lady, well, it wasn't funny that a lady fell down, but a lady fell down at Waimea Valley, and there was somebody who worked there had a first aid kit, and started putting little Band-Aids on her and stuff, and then was really upset because nobody refilled the Band-Aids. You forget to refill the Band-Aids. If you got a first aid kit, for frick's sake, refill the Band-Aids and some of the things. And somebody didn't do their job and didn't refill it. So that's kind of like that same moment. What I want to connect with that is, on this final bit of whatever I'm saying, is don't forget to refill what you pull from your emotional toolbox to get you through, whatever troubles you may have, or at least gets you into the next moment of feeling good. You gotta refill that toolbox. And I think that refilling of the toolbox is when it's all good. I think most people call it the gratitude thing, but I like to call it the counting the wins thing. Fill the toolbox with counting all the wins, because there's going to be days where you feel like you have no wins. Sometimes it could be a couple of days, weeks even. You pop open that toolbox, and you got a nice little stack of wins here that you can look at and go, we got all these wins. These are all wins. These are all wins. This is great. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. But that means your emotional toolbox to get that stuff ready is back up. Anyhow, I don't know if anything I said really made sense. I think it made sense to me. And I think if anybody's been here long enough to listen to it at this point, and you're still here, it's my favorite saying. I don't know if it made sense to you or not, but I thought maybe it was just worthy of sharing. Yeah, I'm feeling it. So I do feel a little better though since the beginning of this video, even if I'm talking to a camera and a stick. Sometimes this works things out. All right, guys. Well, listen, have a great day and count the wins again. This is the end for my coconut journal. All right, guys, take care. All right.